All right, awesome. Well, I'm excited to connect with you all today to talk about our virtual career fair. As most of you know, we've transitioned to a virtual career fair this semester. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we will probably utilize this in some fashion next semester as well. So I'm not sure if we'll do an in-person career fair in the spring or not. But this is all going to be new for us, right? It's new for us as Career Services Office. It's new for you all as recruiters, I would say, for the most part. And it's also new for Career Fair Plus. So, their organization has used what's called a skip the line feature. And so this was something they used in conjunction with their in-person career fair. So essentially, recruiter could have a booth and they'd have one person who would work with the walk-ups that would come up during the career fair. And then another recruiter would talk with the students who signed up ahead of time for the skip the line feature. And so they basically turned their skip the line feature into the platform that we're going to use today. What I'd like to do is go over some terminology, a quick timeline, share some additional thoughts, and I want to get right into the platform to show you all how you can begin to set up your schedules if you haven't done that already. So again, Career Fair Plus is the platform we're using for our virtual career fair. There are a number of other career fair offices that are utilizing Career Fair Plus on Mizzou's campus. So this training would be helpful for any of those career fairs that you might be signing up with that are using Career Fair Plus. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please ask them to me. I'm going to try to keep my eye on the chat, but sometimes that can be tough to do when I'm doing a screen share. So just let me know if you have questions, or I can get to them, once I get out of the screen share. Think of the schedule. So you're going to be creating what's called a schedule in Career Fair Plus, and you want to think of that as your career fair booth. So this is where students are going to come to interact with you as a recruiter. The appointments, currently those appointments, the student time slots are scheduled at 10 minutes. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move into the demo, but that's about the time frame. That time frame is adjustable for you, but we'll talk a little bit more about why you might keep it that length. And then I want to talk about the interaction types. So there are really 4 different interaction types. 3 of them are really easy for you to access and are embedded in the form that you will complete to set up your schedule. And the other one is something that we would need to work together on to get that going. And so Career Fair Plus has their own video room built into the software. So, you're going to set your schedule. And once you set your schedule, you'll see a little blue icon that says start meeting. And you'll go right into it using their software. You can also use a phone if you would like to. You can set it up as phone calls, or you can use an external link. So sometimes employers may not be able to use certain types of video platforms. You can use your own Zoom, Skype, whatever that might be. You could embed that into the instructions there. So some folks may want to do more of a drop-in room. So the typical interaction is students are signing up for you every 10 minutes. You can set your time frame, and students will sign up with you to chat every 10 minutes. Some employers or graduate programs may want to do something a little bit different. They may want to talk to more than one student at a time. So they may want to do an information session about their program, or just an information session about the company. We can use a drop-in room to do that. So we can use a drop-in room to do that. You just need to let me know, because I have to basically flip that for you before you get started. I flip it for you, and then you actually don't have students who would sign up with you for the drop-in room session there. They would just show up at the time you would want them to. And I'll show you an example of what that looks like. Or you could just do a drop-in room as a drop-in room where students can just hop in at any time during a set time frame. And you can do that as well. And so those are the formats, the interaction types that you can use there.
Hey, Lucas?
Yes.
I thought I was reading something yesterday that said basically if you have a drop-in room, and I may be getting the terminology confused, but basically if the students have appointments and you have a drop-in room, it's hard to run those simultaneously. Is that
Um,
correct, or might I have the terminology?
that might be the case. Is that something that you're considering?
I'm not sure. I was just looking at it yesterday and just
Yep.
saw that they had a little blurb about if you're in this private room, then you may have other people in the public room. So it suggested maybe having two people, I guess. One can
Yeah.
monitor the private room, one can monitor the public room.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest as well. And then what we can do with the drop-in room, it's really basically we flip a schedule and all day long there's a link to a drop-in room. And so you just sit in that room while students come by. But if you have a schedule of a drop-in room and then a schedule of Career Fair Plus video room, having two people monitor those might make sense. Or doing one in the morning, one in the afternoon, two different schedules, that might be something you could consider as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So we could do that. Like maybe in the morning we do schedule, and then in the afternoon we could just have a drop in.
I think so. And I'll double check for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what you can do. And then I've had them add a drop-in times where I can go in and add those times. So if you tell me drop-ins from 8:30 to noon, we'll put that in there and students will be able to see it. And then you can have an additional schedule that's individual meetings, and you can label those however you'd like to. But good, yeah, those are good questions. But I'll double check for sure for us there.
Because that would probably work with your two sets of students, those who are organized and those who last minute decide.
Yeah, and you know, and I'll talk about that a little bit more too, because we actually will allow students to schedule with you until the end of the career fair. So they could pop in, you know, if they saw your schedule and you had an opening at 10 o'clock, they saw you they logged in at 9:30 on the app, they could sign up for that 10 o'clock session with you, or that 10 o'clock one-on-one with you. Just taking a note here. Okay. So at this point, if you saw my email yesterday, I thought I was going to be able to invite both the registrant, which is the person who signed your organization up for the fair, and your recruiters, which are the folks that the registrant added as recruiters. Because Career Fair Plus has changed their platform a little bit to allow you all as recruiters to manage more your schedules, your recruiter schedules, and inviting recruiters, which is something that typically I had to do in the past, we had to change it up a little bit. So you all should have been invited as registrants, and then you all should be inviting your recruiters to do a schedule, which I'll show you how to do. And if you have trouble, I can help do that. But I ask that you do that first or give it a shot. So you'll log in, complete your Career Fair Plus profile, edit your schedules based on your availability, and then determine the best mode of communication, phone, one-on-one virtual meetings, or drop-ins. And as I shared before, please let me know by September 11th if you want to do that drop-in feature so I can communicate that with Career Fair Plus and they can turn that on. That's on for us. So September 15th is our deadline to have schedules prepared and ready for students to view. So we want to make sure that that's done because the schedules, they don't lock per se. You can add schedules and you can make some changes, but if something were to come up and you had to cancel some times, you may have to reschedule with the student. So try to have that schedule as ready as you can by the 15th, because students will start to be able to schedule with you all the next day at 8 a.m. So on the 16th, students can get in there, start scheduling with you right away if you have those one-on-one appointments. If you're doing a drop-in session, students can actually filter by drop-in sessions as well. So they'll be able to see that they can filter by drop-in sessions, and they can also see the times that you all will be hosting your drop-in sessions as well. And I'll show you the student view as well as your view. Here's some best practices and tips. I would say start with 1 or 2 schedules. Okay, so don't go hog wild. Bring in 4 recruiters, on at once. So try to minimize it, 1 or 2 schedules, and then we can build schedules out and add schedules from there. If you want, split the day amongst recruiters. So someone could do a morning sessions and someone could do the afternoon sessions. Shrink your schedule if you need to. So when you're signing up for your schedule. You don't have to be available from 8 to 5. Okay, you're going to be able to block times off for yourself. You can set the time range for yourself. So it's really flexible in the times that you want to be available based on what your schedule is and your recruiter's schedule is. Consider the time zones. You know, Mizzou, we're in Central Standard Time. If you're outside of Central Standard Time, it will show your time zone in the app. Or as you're scheduling, it'll show your time zone. So it might look different than 8 to 5. Your schedule or your booth name can change to showcase location, function, job type, majors that you're looking for, and I'll show you that. And then you can edit your schedule description to showcase the positions or to reiterate kind of what majors you're looking for there. Okay. Other items to consider: test your technology prior to the fair. The day of the fair, testing it right before your first session is not a good idea. So you want to make sure that you can do that before. As soon as you set your schedule, you can test your technology if you're using the Career Fair Plus platform. You can test it right then and there. So you have ample time to do that. Just make sure you do that. Technologically, I can't support you. And if you're having tech issues, it would be probably Career Fair Plus for the most part. And that's really like a submission of, hey, we need some help through an email. I'm not sure if we're going to have like a day of a phone number to call, but we will have that support email, and their support is phenomenal. They really are. But try to test your tech before that day so you can get that going. We suggest and hope that you're going to keep conversations like an in-person career fair. This is an opportunity for you to get to learn a little bit more about the students, share a little bit more about your positions or your programs, but it's not really meant for a phone or an interview. It's not really meant for an interview time frame. Okay. We suggest maybe you could schedule those later if you really were looking to do some interviews with folks. You will receive student information, including a phone number, email. They'll fill out all that in their profile, so you'll get that information from them, as well as their resume that they will upload as well. As I shared, students will be able to schedule with you through the end of the fair, so at 5 p.m. So you just want to make sure you're continuing to check your schedule. And then here's some support for you all. Tech support, email Career Fair Plus, recruiter changes, additions, schedules, additions. Some of that stuff you can do now with the changeover in their feature, but I'm also happy to help you in any way that I can. Just please shoot me an email. And then on the day of the fair, I wanted to provide some Zoom support for you all, so you can just hop in a Zoom room, ask a question, and hop out. So I'm happy to, we're going to do that, and I'll send you that Zoom link as we get closer to the fair date there. Okay. Questions so far? I know we haven't gotten into the scheduling yet, but do you have questions so far? Okay. Well, if you do, like I say, drop them in the chat or just share those as we're going through here. Now we're going to get into the schedule. Okay. So as you get logged in here, oh, let me share my screen. Okay. Sorry, pull my PowerPoint off of there. All right, can everyone see that okay? See the CFP?
Yes.
Thank you. So this is going to be where you're going to see all of the fairs that you have been invited to attend. So if, for example, you're using Career Fair Plus for our for a School of Business career fair, you would see that in this list here as well. So this is going to show the career fair, date and time, where it's located virtually, and then my information as the fair organizer. When you log in to see your schedules, you probably won't have a schedule set yet, so this will be blank for you. But it's really helpful to just click on this green bar. It says, what can we help you do today? And you can create your own schedule. You can create a schedule for another recruiter, and then you can just invite a recruiter so they can create their schedule. So Veronica, you should have gotten that already. If not, I'll send it to you. So let me just take a note here.
Yeah, I've been watching, but I've been getting one other location on campus. I haven't been getting emails either, so.
Okay,
I don't
so
know.
I'll invite you, and if that invite doesn't come through, I'll just share a link that should take you right to the login.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's jump in and we'll just start to create a schedule. Okay, so so the scheduling name is something that is really important because this is what the student is going to see when they're looking at your schedules. Okay, so let's say that you are wanting to hire for full-time position. So maybe you having full-time positions. Maybe you're hiring for OT, PT, and patient care techs. Okay, so that can be your full-time. That can be your schedule name there. So students know, okay, these are things that I'm interested in doing. And then your description, you want to help the candidate understand a little bit more about who is invited and able to schedule with these folks. So it could be, any major or you could even list graduates. So you could do December 2020 and May 2021 graduates, something like that. Okay, you can set that as your description, or you can say all majors welcome to to connect with us or something like that. The scheduling date there, Wednesday, October 7th, so it's always automatically going to default there to our scheduling date. The interaction type, we talked through this already. You can click on it. It shows face-to-face. Obviously, we're not doing that one. So Career Fair Plus, video room, phone call, external link. You can choose those there. If you choose external link, then you'll have additional instructions, and you can just drop your Zoom link there in that additional instructions box. So join us on Zoom, and then you can put your link there. And then if you click phone call, there's some additional instructions already added in there for you that you can update, and same with the Career Fair Plus video room option as well. So we're going to move on to next. So this is our schedule. So right now, the schedule is defaulted to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And the time slot duration is 10 minutes. We do the 10-minute time slot duration just to give you time to connect with the student, like through the technology, chat with them, wrap that conversation up, take notes, and then be able to move on to the next candidate. As I shared, you can decide, kind of that time frame that works for you. You can go up, or down there. But you can set that time frame as well. You can also set the range, the time frame that you want to interview as well. And you have to click on this calendar to do that. So you have to click on the calendar, and then up here, change your time. So if you want to do 9 a.m. instead of 8 a.m., you can set it at 9 a.m. and then you'll go to the end time. And then you can set that to, let's say, 4 p.m. Okay, and then you want to apply those changes. And then below, you'll see that those times were cut off, and 9 to 4 is your time frame. At the beginning of every hour, the first 10 minutes, we automatically block off time for you. Okay, so that first one is just kind of for you to get ready, and then we'll do it every hour, every 10 minutes at the top of the hour. And you can do breaks, basically breaks there, or you can, you can change that, that break, and you can toggle that time frame as well. So you can block any of the time frames that you need there. Okay, so we set our time frame there, and we'll go on to the next portion of the schedule. This is prerequisites. So students, when they're filling out their side of the profile, they're going to give you a lot of this information that we see here. So with the major, I'm still in the process of uploading those student majors for you all, for students, or for you all to be able to select. That should be done shortly. But you can also look at other different prerequisites that you're looking for: degree level, graduating, what year they're graduating, etc. Okay, so you can pick a lot of different things here, and then you can also do some additional prerequisites. So this is if I'll use major as an example, but you should be able to find a major. But if you were to say, health science major, the default question to that prerequisite is yes or no. Okay, so just know that that additional prerequisite has to be a yes/no question there. I do caution you all about prerequisites because the more prerequisites that you add, the less students that you're going to be able to connect with. So I just caution you in doing that. What I can think about right away is if an organization is recruiting clinical positions, maybe it's our third-year physical therapy students. A lot of the times we will have first and second-year physical therapy students that are interested in talking with you all as well, just to get a sense of your organization. So just consider, being a little more lax there, so you can get some good interaction with some future PTs, and but also be able to meet with the clinical students that you want to currently meet with. So that's just a caution. You all can set that up how you'd like to, but I like to share that. Okay. Oh, and I just see Leslie shared that her email went to spam. Veronica, you may check your spam as well, but I'll still follow up with you on that invite email.
I did check. I didn't have it. So.
Okay, cool. I'll get you. Okay, and then that's it. Okay, so we can go through, we can check to make sure all the information was correct, schedule and date, interaction time, assigned to me as a recruiter, your time frames there, and then you can hit publish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit publish, and then show you that we can actually go back in and take a look at and update that information as well. But real quickly, here's where you go to join that meeting. Okay, so when we're ready to join that meeting with students, we'll click on join meeting. It's going to ask you for permission to your microphone and your video. I will allow it. And then as the recruiter, I'll hit join meeting. You see up here on the left, it shows 1 of 4. You can have up to 4 people in your rooms. So that could be, 1 student, 3 recruiters, however you want to put that together, but you can do that there. And then you can see down here is very similar to Zoom, where you can leave the room, see who's in the room, chat with folks, share, Google Drive, YouTube, share screen, microphone, and then for some reason it's not letting me share my video with you all, but typically it has. So it will bring up your video basically like a Zoom video as well. And then you're going to basically sit in that room all day, and students are going to come to you. So you're going to see on the right near the students, it's going to say let in or see who it is. So you can click see who and you can see who's there. It'll show you a little screenshot, and you can let them in, or you can respond to them and say, finishing up, I'll be with you in just a moment. so you can communicate with those folks that are sitting outside in your waiting room, essentially. But I don't have the ability to show you that with the student, but that's what will happen for you. Okay. If you need to share, if you need to invite a recruiter to a video room that you plan to be in, you need to share your meeting link, okay? So it's one recruiter per schedule, but you can invite another recruiter to your schedule. So just hit this copy meeting link and send that to them in an email, put it in an Outlook invite, and they can get that information from you. You can go view your appointment times here. Then you can manage your schedule and you can edit the schedule details. And there. And you can also edit your time slots. Same. Okay, so you can go back in and do that. You can also reassign recruiters to a schedule. So before I jump into creating a schedule for a colleague and inviting colleagues, what questions do you have about the platform in scheduling so far? Okay, so we go back up to our little green bar and hit create someone else's schedule. So I can choose from a list of recruiters, or I can invite a recruiter, okay? So if you do it this way, the invite won't get sent until after you create the schedule. So just know that. The recruiter invite does not go right away. You have to create the schedule. So I'm gonna invite my colleague, Justin, who also works in our office here. You may hear from him from time to time. And I'm gonna click next, and I'm gonna go through all of the same steps that we did before, okay? And then when you get to the very end, it'll say publish or save. At that time, that invite will be sent to that recruiter, and for me, it'll be sent to Justin at that time. Let's say you want to invite a recruiter, you're not for sure what their schedule is going to look like, and they really will manage their own schedule. Or let's just say that you want to invite an admin person in to come in and just oversee your recruitment schedules through CareerFair Plus. You can just invite another recruiter. Every recruiter that's added to your CareerFair Plus account can see every schedule. Okay, so you'll be able to see everyone's schedule. So this is super easy. Invite recruiter. There you go. Invite recruiter, sends them an email, and you should be go to invite your recruiters to your org. There. So that's how you would go and do that. Okay. Okay. So before I switch over to the student view, or as I'm switching over to the student view, I'll take questions. Because I'm actually going to run this on my phone. So give me just 1 second here, we'll get set up. Okay, here we go.
Hey, Luke, I have a question. This is Leslie.
Yes, Leslie.
So once students start scheduling, we don't usually see a ton of students, so I don't expect my whole day to fill up.
Mhm.
So if I see that from 11 to 3, that's where those students are kind of congregating in appointment times, can I go in then and toggle like from 9 to 11 and just toggle those to show them as closed?
Yes, I believe you can.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't have to go in and reset the whole schedule time.
That's my understanding. I'll double
Okay.
check, but that's my understanding.
Okay,
Yeah, as long as students aren't signed up there, I think you can do that.
okay, thank you.
But I will check that. All right, still working with my tech here. So for some reason, it's just not showing. There we go. There we go. Okay. One moment. Make sure I'm sharing this with you all. Okay. Can you all see that okay? Can you all see my cell phone?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you will probably, the first time if you download the Career Fair Plus app, this is how you can get to our career fairs. Career fairs populate based on kind of where you live. So for me, these are the suggested career fairs based on where I live. So those of you who don't live close to Columbia, you may need to search us in the organization in the app. Okay. As you can see, there are 5 career fairs taking place on Career Fair Plus. Ours is the one on October 7th at the bottom. So we'll click on that there. And then students right away can click over to the employer tab and they can see the employers. And so they can start to scroll through and see who's all at the career fair. Students can filter by a number of different items. Like I said, virtual appointments versus the drop-ins. Those that are recruiting all majors, those that are recruiting different type of positions, full-time, part-time, graduate program. So there are a lot of different filters that students can use. They can also favorite organizations as well. And so there are 2 that I wanted to show you just to show you what the schedule looks like on the student side. And I know these folks have stuff set up so we can look at theirs. So if we look at Kindred Healthcare and Rehab, this is what it's going to look like for the student. Okay. So at the top, we'll be able to click on their meetings and see what they have available. Students can type in notes here if they want to do that, so they can take notes on organizations. It shows their websites, the majors you all are recruiting, positions that are available, talks about work authorization, and the name of the person who registered you all. So if I go to view meetings, this is going to let a student see what's available. It shows you that the scheduling window doesn't open until 8 o'clock on the 16th. And then it shows the different types of positions that they're recruiting for. Nursing positions, PTOT and speech language is the one I'm going to click on. And then at the bottom, it's grayed out right now because we're not allowing folks to sign up, but those will turn up in blue and they will be able to click on those times. See if you qualify is because they set qualifications. And if students haven't completed that information, they will go through and do it at that time. So that's what it would look like to schedule with recruiters for the one-on-one sessions. And then Cornell University has actually wanted to do like an information session. So we'll click on theirs. And then you can scroll down and see, yes, this is a drop-in session. The room time's at 4 p.m. and they're doing a virtual info session there. And there's the drop-in link. and then it has the other information as well there. So that's what the drop-in room will look like for students. And then students can mark who they visited, etc. The ones they took notes on, they find it there. If they go to the More section, I do announcements, so students can see the announcements that I've sent so far. I also send some announcements for recruiters from time to time through the app, not as many as I do for students. I typically will email you all information that I need you to know. And there's some career fair one-on-one, how to do some different things to prepare for the fair. We don't have a fair map, obviously, and then students can show their virtual appointments when they sign up for them in the virtual appointments tab. Okay. Are there any questions about kind of the student view? For those of you that joined us kind of throughout the presentation, we have recorded this. We'll record this one, and we'll also record the one tomorrow on Friday. So I will share it out as well, along with some other links for you all. Right now, I would like to drop one link in the chat that I think will be helpful for you if you haven't seen it already, and that's just the recruiter resources for you. That takes you to a number of different links. Okay. Okay. So kind of as we're wrapping up here, if you have any final questions, ask those. Samantha, great question. So what is somewhat limiting for Career Fair Plus is recruiters won't necessarily have an opportunity to engage with students before the fair. So Career Fair Plus is set up that once a student schedules with you, then you will get all of their information. I'm going to try to do a couple of different things for you all, and ask you to do a couple of different things too. One is, email students that you already are connected with at Mizzou and invite them to come see you at the fair. That's one thing, because I can't share student information with you. So that's one suggestion I have. I am going to do some social media stuff with probably SHP's social media and a hashtag Hire Mizzou Tigers. So that's another way that you all can add that hashtag to your social media, and then students can go see positions you have available, when you're going to be at the fair, that kind of stuff. And then I'm also thinking about in Handshake, you all should have access to looking through student resumes. I think you can do a little bit of filtering, and you should be able to get some information with students that way, but it's very limiting. I think you might be able to message students one-to-one, but you can't do mass messaging to students. And then I think, Samantha, I'm now understanding your question is, like, as you're meeting with a student, how do you share information with them? Like in a virtual setting? Yeah. Sorry about that. The other thing was what I had on my mind, obviously. So when you log in and you set your virtual appointment, it's very much like Zoom. So as I shared before, you can use an external link like Zoom, or you can use Career Fair Plus's video chat. And in that chat, you should be able to share websites and documents in the chat, just like you normally would in other virtual platforms. So your websites, brochures, and then also you're going to have the student's email, and you're going to have the student's phone number as well. So you'll also be able to get information to them outside of that virtual platform. Great question. Thank you. Awesome. So I got a few things I'm going to look into. Beth, I'm going to check out the drop-in sessions and the individual one-on-one meetings in the day. Can you do both? during the day. Veronica, I'll get your invite to you. And Leslie, I'm going to see if we can toggle times off if you find that students aren't scheduling with you in a particular time frame once schedules are already set. Okay. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you all being here today. If you have additional questions, please shoot me an email. I'm happy to connect with you. And let me know how I can help as we go through this process together. We really are doing it together. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you all. Great. Thank you.